It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome, welcome. It's the Jill on Money Show, the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. I am Jill Schlesinger. I'm a certified financial planner, and that means I'm kind of nosy about all the big things going on in your life. I know you often will have a little tiny question. You think it's so easy, but really, I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of nosy questions to find out who you are, what's going on. That helps me and Mark Talercio, the best executive producer in the world. It helps both of us to be able to form an idea of what you need to do moving forward. And that is what this program is about. It is about responding to your questions and helping you find different ways forward. There's not only one way to get to your desired goal. If you've got a question, go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Click the Contact Us button. And of course, after you write your note, do let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air live. Let's do an email. This is from Eminem. So Eminem says, thank you so much for taking the time to read this. My husband and I filed for bankruptcy last month. Obvious overspending, but also unexpected medical and car emergencies. Adding to that, my salary was cut in half from one of my other employers. So this person has two jobs, got half as much money from one of her jobs during COVID before she got a new job. And then goes on to write, we had 0% balance transfers that expired, and then the high interest rates killed us. This is such a great way of thinking about this. Eminem says, I'm looking at this as an opportunity to finally get things financially right or better. We're on a 5-year payment plan, $1,600 a month to the bankruptcy trustee. Over the years, I had tried to stash at least $100 from each of my checks into a savings account or for an emergency reserve fund, but it always seemed like something happened and the amount dwindled. We're a month into this. I'm going to wait and see how this will all flesh out, but I want to give you some of our numbers. I bring home $22.55 a month, and I'm putting 7% of my money into a 401k. That's to get the match. My husband brings home about $4,900 a month. And then she goes through and says, here's all the ways the money gets split out. Okay. I know it's recommended to take 20% of your check and put it into savings, but it feels like that's too much for us, at least right now. I plan on setting aside 10% from mine. We have cut back a lot, especially on food. I've become very aware of every cent that I spend. I will say it feels great to not have to use credit. I would literally get nauseous when I had to charge in the past. Just really asking what or if there are other ways to save money or any other advice. I feel like I'm getting on the right track after being off the rails for so many years. How about that, Mark?
That's a tough one, tough situation, but it sounds like, they've wiped the slate clean.
Yeah. And you know what? This is what bankruptcy does. And it's exactly what the process is supposed to be. So what I think is important for Eminem is that during this 5-year period, while they're paying $1,600 a month, just do what you're doing. Be methodical, stay on course. As soon as that 5-year period is up, you redirect that money into savings and retirement. You do the best that you can. Do not sweat that low savings rate right now. Honestly, that is to me a way to drive yourself crazy and take your eye off the ball. You've done the hard work, you've taken the hit, and now you're rebuilding, and you will rebuild. So congratulations. And really, I'm rooting for you. I really am. Okay. All right. Now, here's my next one. This is from Anonymous. My wife is 55. I'm 54. I'll have a small pension at age 65 of about $7,000. No COLA. My wife will have one when she retires from the state, $36,000 a year with COLA. We will have to pay for health care, but we will be able to stay on her state plan. We don't think anyone will rely on us for financial needs in the future. We have 2 girls that are in the process of being launched, and while we want them to be self-sufficient, I'm sure we will help them some. Oh boy, here we go, Mark. Now I'm going to get some hate mail. 1.3 million taxable brokerage, 1.1 million 401k IRA conventional, right? So pre-tax, 600 grand Roths. 100 grand HSA. House, $500,000 paid off. No debts, cars paid off, no credit card debt. 200 grand of money in the brokerage account is in cash and CDs. We've been diligent savers, I'll bet. If you're wondering why we have such a large taxable brokerage account, the main reason is that we invested a lot in a company that I have a personal connection to early on, and the stock has taken off like a rocket. It's gone up 600% since we purchased it less than 5 years ago. I've sold some stock. It's now about 8% of our net worth. Besides that one stock, our investment accounts are broadly diversified. Total market funds, 80 stocks, 10 bonds, 10 cash. Honestly, we don't have a budget. We don't have a great idea of what we spend every year. We spend more than we used to, but still watch our expenses. I went through my records last year. I think it was probably 100 grand, maybe $8,500 a month. We would like to increase our spending to 12,500 a month while we can still travel with no issues. My wife plans to retire in 4 years. She'll have 30 years at her job. I'm burned out. I'd love to retire in less than a year, if that's possible, no longer than 4 years. What do you think? What do you think, Mark?
Well, it sounds like she's going to have 36 grand right off the bat. I mean, that certainly helps. Without that pension, I would say it's iffy, but the pension helps.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a slam dunk, weirdly. This is so terrible to say. I've got $3 million and no debt and a paid off house. 12,500. It's so interesting to me because their salaries are about together about 150 grand. 12,500 is a big jump up. That's an extra $50,000 a year from what they're. I don't know that. I think that's the problem. I'm interested in understanding that extra 50 grand a year is a lot to me, and I think that's probably why we're feeling a little hesitant about the numbers.
100,000 a year is kind of no problem, but 12,500 a month is the game changer.
Yeah, I mean, the $8,500 a month was okay. It works, right? Because you'll have two social security, you'll spend some of your money down, two social security checks, your small pension, her pension. Yeah, then it works. But I don't know, that 50 grand a year extra that you're hoping to spend, that 4 grand a month, I don't know if that doesn't make me feel so hot. Now, the follow-up question is how much should they put in retirement accounts each year and which type of accounts? Some years we've spent down our brokerage account to allow us to max out our 401ks and Roth IRAs. I know many couples with our net worth are recommended to go all Roth, but aren't high earners with our larger brokerage accounts, somehow low marginal rate in the middle of the 22%. All right. I'll tell you what, if you really want to retire early and you're only 54, I'd just put in the brokerage account. That's it. That's all I would do. I wouldn't put more in retirement accounts. I'd get your match and move on. So I think that's it. Funny though, Mark, it's like that extra money. Had he just written and said, okay, I just want, this is it, $8,500 a month. Yeah, that totally would make me feel very comfortable. But that jump up is what's making us feel a little bit less secure in your desires. Also, the longer you work, of course, the better it looks. If you have a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and we'll get your note. While you're there, don't forget to check out all the great content that lives at the JillOnMoney.com website. There's free, there's paid. It all awaits you at JillOnMoney.com.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money. We are answering your financial questions. Let's get out to Rose, who's on the line from the Midwest.
Hi, Jill and Mark. I'm just really honored and excited to be on the show. I know that we tried a couple of times. My husband has become disabled, and we're trying to organize our financial status, knowing that we don't have his income anymore. I'm not sure what the future will hold, and just kind of organizing what we have and if we're on the right direction to make our future secure. whether he's here with me or if I'm on my own.
Oh, well, first of all, I'm so sorry. It's terrible to have to deal with these situations. So I'll take the easier part, which is parsing through the financial stuff, the emotional stuff. We're here for you, but we're not really qualified to give you any advice on that. Rose, how old is your husband?
65.
All right. He's disabled. Like is he collecting Social Security disability? Like, is he on SSDI?
Yeah, he's on SSDI and he'll be 65. Yeah.
How much is that Social Security disability?
It's $1,980.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm going to be 60 next month.
And so you're working.
Yes.
How much are you earning right now?
I'm self-employed, so it fluctuates. But last year it was about 130,000.
Wow.
35,000. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Between your 130,000 and his Social Security disability income, does that cover your needs right now?
Yes, generally it does. We just bought a condo, and we haven't sold our house yet. So generally, when like our regular life, our expenses are between $5,000 and $6,000. But right now, in these past couple of months, because we're kind of in limbo, it's gotten to be a little bit more closer to $10,000.
But once you sell the house, you think it's $5,000 to $6,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you in the process of selling the house? Is it like a done deal and you're just waiting for the closing?
No, we're trying. I think we missed the height of it in the summer. There was a lot of health issues, so we couldn't get it on the market. So it's a little bit more difficult than what we had anticipated.
Okay. How much is it on the market for?
$375.
Okay. Is there a mortgage outstanding?
No.
Okay.
Well, we did have to take a
home equity.
Home equity, yeah.
What's the outstanding balance on the HELOC?
About $278,000.
$278. Okay. Oh, you took that out to buy your condo?
Right.
Okay. So what's the condo worth?
$450.
And is there any mortgage on that?
No, just the home equity.
Okay. So presumably, even if you sold the house for $350, you'd have a little bit of cash, you'd own this condo, and you would have no mortgage, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any other debt.
Great. That's good. Are you living in the condo or the house right now?
The condo.
Okay, good. And you happy there? Is it good?
Yes, it's not. It was a hard transition. We're getting used to it.
It's so funny. People with houses are like, I like my lawn.
I like my yard. I did have a wonderful yard.
But you know what? You live in the Midwest. Wait till it snows and you don't have to shovel the walks.
True.
You know?
Yes, definitely.
So it's on for $375. But let's say, I mean, does your realtor feel confident that you could probably get you could just sell it at $350 or something? Like, could you get rid of it fast at this point, you think?
I think we might be able to if we lowered the price. We have lowered it a couple of times, so we didn't start off at that. We may have to keep lowering it.
Yeah, just get rid of it. Because, remember, every month you're carrying it is cost, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So presumably once you sell this, you pay for the expense, the realtor's fee and all this. I'm going to say, I know you wish that you had $100,000 out of this, but I'm going to say maybe a $50,000 that's coming out of this. Okay, let's be conservative. So there's that cash out. Now, in terms of your other savings, what have you guys accumulated coming into this period?
So in Vanguard, we have I have a traditional IRA of about $62,700. That's a rollover, and then a rollover Roth IRA of about $101,000. And I also have an individual Roth 401k through my business of about $9,800.
Okay. So you have a Roth 401k for work, for your own self-employment, right?
Right.
Okay. Are you contributing to that at this point, or are you waiting to kind of see how the year shakes out?
Yeah, I had been contributing it until this housing situation came up, and then I haven't been able to
I
contribute
understand.
anything.
That makes sense. Did your husband have any retirement savings?
He has a Roth IRA also at Vanguard of $7,900. We also are working with a financial planner who, we keep going back and forth because we haven't seen an increase in our investments. It's pretty much been either flat or losing over the past couple of years. We're just kind of in limbo with that. But we do also have a brokerage, which I use I think it's the money market. I don't remember which one is it, money market or mutual fund as an emergency fund.
How much is the financial planner managing? And is that the brokerage account or separate from the brokerage?
No, that's separate.
So what does he have or she have?
He has a total of $534,000, which is both IRAs and Roth IRAs for both my husband and I.
Okay. And the brokerage account where you have just a money market, how much is in there?
$42,000.
Okay. And is there a bank account floating around anywhere?
Yeah, we have right now. We had more savings, but because of this house situation, we're down to about $29,000.
Okay.
And we have right now in our checking account about $14,000. We do have I bonds. We started with $20,000. It's a little bit more with the interest. I don't know what. I didn't have a chance to check that.
Okay, that's great.
And then I do have two other accounts that I had been saving for like vacation, but that hasn't been.
Yeah, really. How much is in the vacation fund?
So in one place I have a $15,000. Yeah. And then in the credit union I have $8,700.
Okay.
And then our HSA has been depleted, and we have about $335 there right now.
Okay. Do you guys have grown kids?
Yes, two.
And are they taken care of? Like, are they okay? Do we need to worry about them?
They're semi-launched. We pay the phone and some, here and there.
Wait a minute.
It's
Dale.
a family plan, and one of them is still a student. The other one is living in a high-cost
place. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
This mom is a sap, Mark. Just put that.
It's more dad is a softie. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. So we'll drop the hammer down on them.
We do also have a $400 HOA.
Okay. Does that include your taxes?
No, there's taxes. I think, if I remember correctly, would be about $1,600.
Okay, so it's $2,000 a month to carry the condo, basically. Okay, not including utilities, etc.
Right.
Okay, so what else do we need to know? Do you have anyone else you have to worry about? Parents? Do you have parents that are alive still?
Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, we actually moved into this condo to also be able to help my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll be moving in with us. We'll have to sell her house also.
Mm-hmm.
She'll probably contribute something to the household, but I'm not going to, the idea was to help her also health-wise and financially. So
how are you working if you're taking care of your disabled husband and your aging mother? I don't understand. Are you a superwoman? Is that what Rose is actually like super mom, a super daughter?
Yeah. I'm stumped. I don't know how to answer that, but it's happening. And
you are the sandwich. You are the sandwich right here, my friend.
And I guess that's what worries me. That I know that at some point I'll probably have to take more time off or not work as many hours, and I want to make sure that
you can handle it.
I can handle it. That we can, yeah. Because there's no FMLA or anything like that here.
Yeah, right. It's all me. So
right.
I understand. We'll get back to Rose in just a minute. During the break, head on over to JillOnMoney.com and bookmark it. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, the program that attempts to take the mystery out of your financial life. The way we do that is we send you to our website, JillOnMoney.com, where you will see a Contact Us button. When you click that button, you complete a form that's an email. And if you want to join us on the program, Mark does everything else. All you need to do is just check that little box. While you're on the website, why not see all the great content that lives there? For example, we have a blog section. We have videos. We have resources. You can also sign up for our free weekly newsletter, which comes out every single Friday. If you've got a few bucks to spend, there's always a way to do that. You know, we love to have you spend your money on you. You can buy my book, The Great Money Reset, which will help you figure out how to turn some chaotic moments in your life into opportunity. And you should definitely check out the new Jill on Money live subscription service, where you have access to quarterly live webinars and a lot more special bonus content. Right now, let's get back on the line with Rose. So at this point, when do you expect your mom to move in with you?
We're hoping by the end of November.
Oh, soon.
Soon. I haven't, the idea was for her to come sooner, but because of these health issues, I haven't been able to help her get things moving.
Right, because you have 3 full-time jobs. What's her house worth?
Probably wouldn't be more than $300,000.
And there's no mortgage on that?
There's no more. No, she does have a mortgage. She still has, because she moved there, after my father died.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she has about $80,000 is what she said to me.
Okay. So she's going to have this, let's just call it $200,000 in proceeds, right? What other assets does she have?
I don't have those very clear. She's also working with this.
Same dude?
Same guy, yeah. So I know she has an annuity that she gets about $2,000 a month.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, one of the reasons that we're moving is because he said that if she, that her money's going to dwindle. She's not going to have for much longer. She's in her 90s, so I don't know how much longer she needs it. But if she needs more assistance or treatment or something like that,
right?
I know she also gets Social Security, also about $1,900, something like that.
All right.
I think her total, what she has right now with this guy, maybe $200,000 or $300,000.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, she can pay for some of the expenses.
Yeah. She wants to.
And I think that's good, because I don't think, especially if she's got her marbles right now and, things are good, it's like infantilizing to be like, oh, you can stay here for free, when she knows you have a husband who's disabled, right, and there's like a lot of pressure, and let her be a mom. It's okay. Right. She's allowed to do that, right?
Yeah. And she wants to. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
As you look ahead, there's no pension, or you're self-employed, but did you have?
I'm self-employed. I always worked for nonprofits. He worked in sales, so he doesn't have a pension either. We don't have any other money coming in. Okay. There may be an inheritance at some point, but we're not sure when that would be and how that would be. I have other siblings as well, so that would be split among us.
Do you guys have your estate documents done?
Yes.
Okay. And do you guys have any old life insurance kicking around?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, that's fine. All right. Now, let's just pretend your husband is not disabled for a second. Okay?
Yeah.
I want you to know that, he would have this $2,000 a month of Social Security. What's your benefit look like at your full retirement age?
At 65, it would be $2,789, and at 70, it would be $3,578.
So, I mean, between the two of you, let's just say, your full retirement age is probably 66 and a half or 67. I don't remember, something like that. So, you'd have $5,000 a month coming in, let's call it about. And presumably you'd sell the house, you have the condo. Okay. And your $5,000 a month of Social Security supplemented by your savings, no problem. You're good, because you don't spend that much, $5,000 to $6,000 a month, right? Now, here's the confounding part. So, okay, you're going to keep working for, let's say, 6 or 7 years. And at some point, you're not going to make 130. You're going to make something less than that. You're going to have to continue to take care of your husband. So, I'm penciling in here that maybe it's more like $100,000 a year for a while, maybe not 130. I think that 2 things are really important going forward. One is we just have to sell the house. You just have to get rid of it. Don't worry about, there's an old saying in the trading world. And, when I grew up on a trading floor, and we would say, hit the bid, like find out what someone's willing to pay for it, hit the bid, move on, because this is eating up all this money and we want to be done with it. Also, it's not great emotionally to have this thing kicking around. Now, once you sell the house, that cash that you have can just stay as cash. Do not invest that money. Absolutely do not invest that money. So that could go into your, your bank checking accounts, right? Because as you said, you want to have money set aside. So you've got money market money, that's the 42,000. You've got bank money, 29 and 14. You've got your I bonds. That extra 50 grand, that goes into like a literally like a 6-month CD. Okay, that's it. Really boring. And let's leave it there because we don't know what the future holds. And for you to say, you know, I have like 150 grand in cash, that would be fantastic. Okay, now let's go back to the assets that you have. My concern is you have so much on your plate that it feels like, to me, a little bit overwhelming. And for you, it might be like, no, it's a wonderful distraction. So tell me how you feel if I said to you, well, get this $500,000 from the financial planner, roll it everything into Vanguard, don't worry about it, and keep managing. Like, does that seem daunting, or does that seem like that's actually a good use of my energy where I would like to use it?
It feels scary.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily daunting, but it feels scary because I'm not sure if I trust myself to know that I'm making the right decisions.
Well, what if that we had, you know, the decisions in terms of, you know, having some advice? I presume this financial planner charges either a commission on the products that he's selling or a fee.
Yeah, I think he charges a fee. It's like it was a reasonable percentage. I remember we asked him. I just can't remember right off the bat how much it is, but I think it sounded reasonable. You know, hearing what you were have been saying.
Yeah, 0.5% or 1%.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to spend a little bit more time with Rose in the next segment. If you've got a financial question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we're going to return to our conversation with Rose from the Midwest, who's caring for her sick husband. And I know that sometimes we have conversations with people that are hard. And we're all in this together. I think this is the beauty of the community that we have built with your assistance. And so if you have a need to get through something that you feel like you're kind of lonely, we're here for you. The whole Jill on Money community is here for you. Start by going to the website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and of course, let us know if you would like to come on the air live. Right now, let's get back to Rose. Can you give me a sense of what it is that he has invested in? Is it mutual funds or exchange traded funds?
I think it's between fixed income and mutual funds, and then there's a little bit of cash and some exchange traded funds.
Okay. So my guess is that maybe you guys said to him, be careful, really pick, let's err on the side of having more money in safer stuff. That safer stuff over the last 2 years has gotten hammered. The bond market's just gotten killed. It's not to say that he's bad. It may just be that, for these couple of years, it's been kind of crap to be in the allocation that you've been in. I think the question that you have to ask yourself is really, do you trust him? And do you want to, you could potentially say, leave everything as is for now. And you could, maybe make some changes on like the fringes. Like maybe you could say to him, you know what? I need $100,000 out of this account, free up $100,000. Or when he does his tax loss selling for this year, maybe he's going to sell some stuff. I don't know if he has. Oh, he doesn't have any brokerage. He only has IRAs. So maybe you say to him, like, we want to take some money out of my husband's IRAs because, I'm going to make less money next year, something like that, that you could take some of the money from there. I think that the question about who's going to manage the money is a big one, but you have to feel comfortable. I mean, do you really want to start interviewing new financial planners right now?
Yeah, no, that feels too much.
Yeah. So the choices are you leave what he has, make sure that he explains to you, like you can say, hey, my Vanguard accounts are kicking your butt. Can we look at this? Is there some change we should make? Because I'm only 60 and I'm going to probably live for 30 more years. Maybe I should be a little bit more aggressive with some of my IRA money. Okay. The key for your success going forward financially, selling the house, not investing the proceeds. When mom sells her house, by the way, do not let this guy sell her any product. No more annuity. Forget it. The 200 grand, she could literally buy like a 5-year CD, like a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5-year CD.
So just kind of like a dual ladder?
Yep. Nothing more. And let her pay for some of the expenses. And I think that's it. When you're looking forward, it's very hard to do long-term planning. You're in the middle of doing sort of all planning, right? You're doing short-term, near-term, right? So you're doing short, intermediate, and long. Short-term, got to have a bunch of cash on hand. You don't know whether you're, like your income could go down significantly. Something goes bad for your husband, can't work as much, as you said. Got to have cash to fall back on, right? Now, it also may be that if something really bad were to happen, you want to take a year off from work or 6 months off. I don't know how long it would be, but then there's going to be different decision points. But presuming that you can continue to work in some way, shape, or form, I would keep trying to do something. Okay. Even if it's not 130, if it's 100, even if it's 50, it's okay to spend some money for spend some of your savings to help you out of a jam near term. But, presumably you're going to want to keep working.
Yeah, and I think I can. I work from home. I can make my own hours, decide how much I work or don't work. So I think that, I would probably work even after I retire, even if after I reach 70, I do enjoy what I do.
Great.
So I don't think I would ever quit working 100%. There would always be a way of making some money that way.
Absolutely. Other than that, I think if you feel okay with this as a game plan, is there any other question that you have? I think you're actually in pretty damn good shape considering how awful the situation is.
Well, that's good to know because it just felt like it was all over the place and I didn't know which direction I was going. And so that's reassuring to hear. And it's good to have this game plan that you kind of set out for me and I can kind of present it to my husband as well and let him know, this is because he's been kind of proposing that we leave this advisor, and I've just been very scared about doing that.
You're entitled to say, look, that's just like a bridge too far. It's too much.
A lot of things have been going on these past years. I just don't know if I can take another change. But this smaller way that you've described it makes sense.
Yeah, incremental. Incremental is fine. It's totally
right.
fine.
It doesn't feel so like impulsive. It feels more thoughtful.
Right. Methodical. And it sounds like you're a methodical person. So I think this will work. Yes. Sell the house. If you have any problems and you need help along the way, give us a shout.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
We are so grateful that you took the time out of your 5 jobs that you have to, help everyone hear like the processing of this. It's really very important. We all unfortunately go through these terrible periods. I'm sorry you guys are going through that right now.
You've made this so easy. I was so nervous, but I appreciate your care, all your advice.
If you would like to talk to us about something that is big and scary and intense, we're here for you. And if it's not so scary and intense, it's just an issue that you think is causing you some anxiety, or you just want another set of eyes on your situation, we are delighted to help you out. All you need to do is go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and complete the form. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we'll be right back. You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show. And before we finish this hour, let's take an email. Remember, if you ever have a question, you can go to the website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button. We'll get your email note. This is from Chris, who asks the following. How do you handle an annuity that is left to 2 people, but they do not agree on how to get the payout? It's either one lump sum or paid out over 5 years. One person just wants it in a lump sum and will not budge. These are the only two ways to receive the money. Any suggestions? Well, Chris, I don't know why, but I'm imagining that because you say one person wants it in a lump sum and won't budge, that's the other person, not you. So here's what I would like to say. If someone is so uptight about that and they really do need the money, presuming it's just not going to blow your whole tax situation out of the water, I might just give in. Frankly, keeping money in an annuity contract for 5 years, maybe it would be better for you from a tax perspective, but maybe you could just make do. In these situations, if someone is so hell-bent on one way and the other person isn't as much, I guess I do the path of least resistance. I would like to know a little bit more about the situations, because maybe that person really needs the money. And maybe if it's you, maybe you don't, and you want to smooth out the tax liability over the next 5 years. Either way, is it really worth it to fight this to the bitter end? I hope it's not a ton of money. Do follow up with us and let us know if there is anything else that we're missing here, because I'm sort of, thinking that maybe you should just say, all right, lump sum it is. All right, if you've got a question about an estate or an annuity, or in this case, both, give us a holler. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and let us know what is on your mind. Don't forget to check the little box if you would like to join us on the air. Mark does everything else. The Jill on Money Show will be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
You're back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money Show, and we are so delighted that you joined us. We are here answering your financial questions, and whether that is something that seems very big or even a little thing, anything that's kind of bugging you, we are here for you. Just go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and we would be delighted to help you out. Let's do an email. This is from Norma, who says, I would like to put my children on our property deeds, and I have a small pension. She must mean her small pension earns 5%? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what this means. I have a small pension getting 5%. I want to know if I can move it to a different form using the stock market without getting hit hard by taxes. I don't know if you are receiving your pension or you're saying you have a pension plan or a 401k, and I need more information before I give you advice. But for everyone listening, if you have a pension or a cash balance plan or something like that, and you've stopped working at that organization, you can roll it over into an IRA rollover account, which would allow you to invest in different things than just fixed accounts. There is risk in doing that, of course, so I don't want to say that you should do that. I'm just saying that is available to you. I would very much warn every single person who has this same thought that Norma put down in writing. I would like to put my children on our property deeds. Do not do that. I don't know why people are thinking about this. This is a terrible idea. When you do that, when you transfer ownership to your kids while you are still alive, you are transferring your own cost basis in that property to them, meaning that if you die and you bought that house for 25 grand, the kids, if they want to go sell it, it's as if they bought it for 25 grand. So don't do it. And I know that there's someone saying, oh, no, I want to keep my house out of this. I want to be able to qualify for Medicaid. Before you make that decision, give us a call, because I think that many people do these transfers during life not realizing that they probably aren't going to actually lose their house if something bad were to happen, and that Medicaid in general is something they may not even qualify for. So please get in touch with us if that is something that you're feeling, okay? Next, this is from Jen. I'm scared about adding more money to my brokerage account and my 401k. I have stocks in my Roth IRA, which are down. I could put an additional $20,000 into my 401k this year, but should I? The answer is yes. I don't know how old you are. You didn't say that. If you are freaking out, you know what? You should be freaking out because last year was a terrible year. This year is not such a hot year. It's good. I mean, the stock market is up, but bonds are down. But the honest to goodness truth is, you give me the alternative as high interest savings and CDs. That is not the answer. All of you people who are thinking about this, gang, this is market timing. You don't want to be the person who says, oh, yes, I got 5% for exactly 14 months. Then the stock market took off, the bond market recovered, and I was not part of that. So I would be very careful about putting money into cash and hoping that you will find the exact right time to put the money elsewhere, because you won't. And the other question about what about purchasing gold and other precious metals? No. How about that? Is that a clarifying answer? All of these questions are about fear of market volatility. And I get it. It has been volatile. But still, even today, the reality is that stocks are up over the last year. They're not up as much as they were, but I'm just looking right now as I talk to you here. Over the last year, stocks are up 10, 12%. And, if you owned the NASDAQ, even more. The bonds, they're not so hot. I get it. It stinks. But you know what? You are not in the business of picking one thing versus another. All right? Okay, this is from David, who says, I love this show, and I'm hoping you can give me a general midlife checkup. My wife and I are 40, and we've got a 7-year-old. Our income is about $360,000 per year combined. We have a $22,000 car loan, and oh my God, $175,000 in student loans at 6.8%. Yowza! Cash is about $70,000 in an emergency fund. $25,000 for future expenses. Oh, brother. $170,000 is on the sidelines, but to be put to a combination of brokerage and student loans. Investments in brokerage account, $90,000. Retirement, $375,000, all pre-tax. We bought a house, $1.1 million. We owe $1 million. Our daughter has 2 529s. One funded by us, one funded by my parents. In the account funded by us, she's got $10,000. In the account funded by my parents, she has about $30,000, and they contribute about $700 a month. We have life insurance and wills, though we are in the process of updating everything. Our goal is to retire at age 60. Each of us maxes out our 401ks. Given the new expensive house, we're no longer saving that more than that. What do you think? Mark, I'm going to just put a red line under a couple of things. $22,000 car loan, $175,000 in student loans at 6.8%. They have $170,000 on the sidelines. They have $90,000 in their brokerage account. What do you think I'm going to say to this?
Unless there's something he's not telling us, like some sort of forgiveness, but I figured he would have mentioned that. All $170,000 should be going right at the student loans.
Absolutely. This is insanity right now. First of all, you're in a high tax bracket. So let me be clear. For you to clear a 6.8% return on your money, you would have to kill it. And I don't know if you're going to kill it. So how about the fact that you have a 6.8% return after tax with zero risk? And that to me is a damn good deal. So I am paying off those student loans. And unless your debt on the car is 0%, that's next. You could just sell some of the investments in the brokerage account and get debt free. And now you can crank on your savings. So, we always play these games with ourselves. Okay, you say, oh, I have this money. It's over here. It's in cash. But then I have this. It's all the same money. It's all the same money. And so once you have this paid off, you have your brokerage account. It's fine. Then you can start really focusing on retirement savings. And then maybe that goal of 60 could work. But you know what? If you're maxing out your 401k and that's already happening, then you can turn and put that money into your brokerage account and really crank on your total savings.
This is another example of somebody who doesn't want to touch the brokerage account.
I'm not sure why people have that fear. I really don't.
I said it last week. I don't get it. I mean, who wants to? I mean, sure, you want to see it grow and grow and grow, but I just completely depleted mine. But that's why I've been saving all along, so it's there when I need it.
Right. And it's even especially worrisome when you have somebody who has it would have been a harder decision, Mark, in years past if someone said, I have 2.9% student loans. Then I can be lured, right? I can be lured into it. But 6.8, come on, dude.
That's like my new mortgage.
It's amazing. It really is amazing. It's the Jill on Money Show answering your financial questions. We'll be right back.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here trying to help you make better financial decisions. And we do that by asking you to put a little work in. Just go to the website, jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, and complete the form. Of course, do let us know if you'd be willing to come on the air live. While you're on the website, we've got a whole bunch of stuff there. We've got a free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday. We've got a link to buy my book, The Great Money Reset, which is essentially your guide to making big, big changes or small, small changes in your life. We're resetting our lives without blowing up our finances. And you can subscribe to the Jill on Money live service where you have access to quarterly live webinars and lots of cool bonus video content, all for the whopping cost of $35 a year. Okay, right now, let's talk to, not their real names, Ralph and Alice from New Jersey. Ralph, you said you're supposed to be doing more of the talking, but I'm just going to say hi to Alice and say that, Alice, you can pop in when Ralph is not reflecting the situation as you know it, okay? You can call him out.
Sure.
All right. Ralph, what's going on? How are you?
Good. We became old quicker than we were expecting, and we're getting close to retirement. I am 63, and she is 62, and we bought an annuity a few years ago, and Alice is tired of hearing me moan about it and trying to decide what to do.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about what you guys are still working. How much do you each earn?
I am actually not working.
Oh, you're not working. Are you retired or are you choosing not to work?
Medically retired.
Oh, that stinks. Sorry about that. And Alice is still working. Alice, how much money do you earn?
I make $120,000 a year.
Okay, that's great. Ralph, are you entitled to any pension?
No, but currently getting Social Security.
SSDI, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Alice, on your $120,000, do you make a retirement plan contribution?
I fully fund my 401k every year.
Okay. And that's a traditional 401k, not a Roth, right?
Right now, we are now funding the Roth 401k.
Okay, great.
So there's 401k funds in traditional and also Roth 401k.
Okay. And Ralph, did you roll over your old retirement account when you became medically retired?
Yes. And then that, unfortunately, all of that then went into this variable annuity.
Oh, okay. And that was a year ago?
No, that was in 2015. So we're beyond the 7-year surrender time.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. So the rollover, and it's all traditional, and it went into a VA, a variable annuity. How much is in that annuity contract right now?
$360,000.
Okay. How much money does Alice have in her 401k and Roth 401k?
401k, 157. That's
Okay.
pre-tax, and 22 in the Roth. And she also had a prior employer, and we rolled that into one of these. In the IRA, it's an annuity also.
Oh, how much is in that one?
325.
Wow, you guys did not mess around. You just went for it, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's all right. Don't worry.
Regrets.
No, we're not going to have regrets. We're just going to move forward. Do you also have Roth IRAs or just the Roth 401k that you mentioned?
Each have a Roth as an annuity, and both about 125,000.
Oh my God, with these annuities. Okay. The traditional rollover that you had, your 360, that surrender period is up. What about Alice's rollover? That's also done, right? No surrender?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's get to these Roths. This 125 each. Are the surrender periods over for those?
Yes.
Oh, great. Okay. What else you got?
She has a Roth that's 80,000.
And where is that?
That's at a brokerage, not in any.
Not annuity.
A few years ago, I tried to simplify because I used to do things on my own with one person. So everything is with him.
Just to review, a whole bunch of money in annuities. You guys are thinking of retiring soon-ish. Alice, when do you think you're going to call it quits? What's your goal?
65.
Do you guys have money in the bank, just like boring, safe money?
Yes, about 200,000.
Oh, that's good. Do you have money that's in addition to the, so let's do, so 200 grand is cash, and then you have a brokerage account on top of that?
Yes.
How much is in the brokerage account?
Approximately $2 million.
Holy smokes. Where is that held?
Same guy.
All right. How much money do you guys need to live on so we can figure out like what to do next?
125,000.
Okay, so 10 grand a month, that's good. And you guys own do you guys own a home?
Condo. No mortgage.
No mortgage. How much is a condo worth?
400,000.
Okay. And you like it? You want to stick around?
Yes.
Is there any other asset that's floating around that we should know about?
No, but we have expenses we're thinking about.
Wait a minute. Before we get into the expenses, I thought we just did 125 grand a year, but that's just like your fun. What else are we spending money on?
An RV, 200,000.
What?
You got to do something when you retire.
Oh my God. So that burns up my 200 grand in cash.
And it may be a little bit less.
You guys have kids that we need to think about?
2 launched, married, fully employed on their own.
Good.
Although we would like to help them buy their first house at maybe $100,000 each.
Would you rather do that instead of buy your RV?
No.
Because those are their choices. That's where your 200 grand would go to. Have you guys run your Social Security full retirement age numbers? Do you have those for me?
It's 3,200 at age 65.
At 65, I don't want to take
67. I'm sorry, at 67.
3,200. Sorry. That's what I needed.
And then
exactly.
it's 4,000 at age 70.
Of your, let's say, 10 grand a month that you need, right? You have 6,400 in Social Security. That, and again, I know that we're not there yet. We're not at 67 yet, but I'm just giving you we're just going to kind of play these numbers out, right? And so we need to make sure that you have money, which is probably going to come from the brokerage account, which is nice because you have the brokerage account. That's great, right? I mean, when you think about it, that's what it's there for. Mark always likes to say that, it's not there to just pile up money, So we need to be able to pull out, because I know you live in a high cost of living area and a high tax state, but we need $4,500 a month from the brokerage account, which is not a problem. You got $2 million. It's great. So we would pull the money out of there. Your expenses are 125 grand a year. Of course, with Alice's income and Ralph, your SSDI, that you meet those needs. And then when Alice retires, then you have 5 years of pulling money out of somewhere. We're not sure where yet. Whatever, 4 grand, 5 grand a month, whatever it is. Because if we take it out of the retirement account, we have to pay tax on it. If we take it out of the brokerage account, we have to pay capital gains on it. one way or the other, we need to access some money, right? You got plenty of money. It's good. So, Ralph, listen, you're in good shape. Okay. I sense a little anxiety. Don't worry. You're in good shape. Alice, do you have any anxiety about money or not?
No, I don't.
You feel comfortable, right? You got this, right?
I feel like I'm happy with the way we live our lives and we have enough money for that. And that's great.
Yeah. You know what, Ralph? You have what we like to say in Yiddish is spilkus. Do you know what that word means?
Antsy pants.
Yes, it is exactly right. Ants in your pants. You got a little spilkus. You need to relax a bit. We'll get back to Ralph and Alice in just a minute. If you would like to join us on the air, it's so easy. Just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. And if you want to join us on the air live, you can just check that little box and Mark does everything else. And don't forget to give us a lot of detail if you're shy and you're not coming on the air. We'll be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
You're back. It's Jill on Money, and we are here hoping to make the end of your year. Yes, we're talking about the end of your year really good. And one of the ways that we might be able to help you out is to help you do some of your year-end tax and financial planning. That's why you need to subscribe to the Jill on Money live service, because our next webinar is coming up December 6th at 7 Eastern Time. Tax and financial planning for the year end with Dan Forbes. It's going to be a blast. Okay, right now, let's get back to Ralph and Alice. I would not pull the trigger on that cash right now and sink it into an RV because, are you really going to use it so much until she retires? Probably not. Also, we're going to soak up all this cash right this second and then leave yourselves nothing. Like if one of the kids wants to buy a house and you really want to do it, which by the way, you probably can do it. You really can. I don't know if you want all of that draining of liquidity within just a couple of years. I think you'll know a lot more. You'll have a lot more information by the time Alice retires in 3 years. We'll know more about the kids. And then maybe we can actually be more methodical about taking the money from the brokerage account, realizing some gains, realizing some losses, and every year start to free up a little bit of cash for these kids, right? If we're more intentional about it, then you probably can do everything. You really can. I just want to make sure that we're being clear about how you do it and when you do it. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Alice, have I lost Ralph? Is he just putting a bid in on the RV right now?
My view is now is not the time. We won't have the time to use it and we'll have to pay storage on it. So it's not the time. Listen
to Alice. She's always so clear-eyed about it. You just go back to driving your bus, Ralph, which is the RV. Now, you'll have time for that. Okay, now let's take a deep breath. So we have a broker, right? We have this $2 million account. There is a broker, right?
Yes.
Is it an investment advisor or is it like a transaction person?
He's supposed to be an investment advisor.
When you say supposed to be, I just hear a little bit of dripping with sarcasm. So tell me a little bit about the relationship with this person right now.
He is not the one that sold us the annuities.
Well, that's good. That's an uptick right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
He, nice guy, but it seems like possibly because we're lower net worth than most of his clients. Mm. Every specific suggestion he's made has not done well, like buying bonds a couple of years ago. Mm. That's where the loss is. He felt that we should just hold on to the annuities and then annuitize them when we get to the right age band.
Okay. But
I think the reason
wait a second. How do you pay him? A percentage?
Yes, and it is a low percentage.
How much?
I think it's really low because not all the accounts, there's a percentage. So he gets a percentage of the annuities because those got transferred. It's definitely less than one. I think less than it. I think that was part of the consolidating with him is he's only going to do it on certain accounts. So maybe one account has 1% or 0.75%, but when you look at the total assets, it's much lower.
But I mean, do you want to stick with this guy or not? I'm trying to get that sense from you. Like, it sounds like he's sort of lost you guy. Well, I'll say, Ralph, it sounds like you don't have confidence in him. So there's two questions. Do you want to stay with him? So yes or no?
Yes, if I can feel good about his recommendations.
Alice, what's your view on this? Who's managing the relationship with the investment advisor right now?
Ralph manages it, but I am comfortable with this guy, and he's somebody that I feel comfortable working with. And Ralph has a history of being with a manager for 3-5 years, becoming disillusioned with them and moving on to another manager.
Alice is like, shut up, Ralph.
I love this.
He's only the second, though.
He is not the second. He is the fourth that I can think of.
Okay, wait a second. Alice, I'm glad he feels that about investment managers, but not about spouses. So let's start with that. Let's be clear about that. I'm going to give you my unfiltered feedback about the situation right now. I don't know what this person is really doing for you. I don't know if they are putting you into individual securities. Is it exchange traded funds? I mean, I'm not sure what their focus is. It may have been fine to have the original advice be like, hey, let's not blow out of the annuity until the surrender is up. But with the surrender fees gone, I would suggest that it is time to roll these into their respective correct accounts. So let me give you an example. For example, the old traditional rollover, the Ralph 360,000, that can now go into a Ralph IRA. Plain old IRA, no annuity, no fees, no nothing. Boom, done. Okay. Where we do that is a question, but I'm just saying that's the first piece of advice. The same goes with Alice's $325,000. Alice, where is your 401k held currently?
Fidelity.
Okay, so one really great way to skinny up your fees is to take Alice's old rollover IRA that's in an annuity and roll it into her 401k. Just have all the money together. There are probably like 4 great index funds at Fidelity in her regular traditional IRA that's still at the company, and pop it in there, add it to the 157,000 that's in there, and you're done. So easy. And it's outside of the whole fee structure of this dude, which is great. Same goes with the Roth IRAs. So the Roth IRA that was the Ralph Roth IRA that's in an annuity, 125,000, that should just go into Ralph's plain old Roth, which you had said there's 80 grand in Roth and it was a brokerage account. That should roll that into that account, wherever that Roth is held. Frankly, you could take Alice's $125,000 Roth and roll it into her 401k at work and just consolidate there. Like, you can consolidate your life at work, at least for a couple of years, and just manage it yourself and see how it goes. Like, it's not that hard to say, oh, I'm just going to pick 4 mutual funds that are index funds at Fidelity while Alice is still working. I think that's pretty easy to do. We're not done with Ralph and Alice yet, so stay tuned. It's the Jill on Money Show. Jill on Money will be right back.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are going to get back to Ralph and Alice. They're from New Jersey, and they are trying to navigate their retirement. So many of you have real retirement questions, And you can see from our conversations, or you can hear from our conversations, that it takes some work to unpeel the layers that are involved. There are aspects to your retirement planning that are financial, but there are some that are non-financial. You know, sometimes I think that it's the non-financial ones that really are harder in many ways, because those are the parts that are emotional. And maybe if we can make the financial part easier for you, you can tackle the emotional. But of course, oftentimes we're helping you tackle your emotional as well. Okay, let's get back with Ralph and Alice. We're going to wrap up with them. I would be hesitant to roll it into the current investment advisor accounts until you guys start to get a sense of whether you're going to stay or not. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision. Who are we going to work with? If you're going to work with this guy, I think we have to give this person a lot more direction. Has this person done financial planning for you?
Yes.
And do you feel confident in those, the output of that financial planning process?
Yes. However, whenever the percentage of probability goes down, he convinces us to not give the kids as much money or modify our goals.
Well, I mean, look, you know this, like you kind of know that if you give the kids the $100,000 each and you do this, that puts you in a little bit of a tighter situation. But I mean, honestly, if in 3 years you're like, you know what, we don't have as much money. It's been a 3.5 year bear market and it's terrible. Alice can keep working. Like that can be your bailout, by the way. Alice can say, you know what? I really want to give this money to these kids, or I really want this RV. I'm going to work for another year or two, and that'll be that. And then you'll be fine. So I don't think that's actually a big problem. And I am not the person who likes to fork money over to kids. I find it to be that people do too much of it. It would be probably worth your while to think about whether or not you want to change the relationship or give this person more specific direction. We are going to spend this $100,000 each on the kids, and we're also going to be buying a RV for $200,000 in 3 years. We need you to work on the brokerage account to free up our $200,000 by the time Alice retires. Do that over the next 3 years and make sure that we try to stay, we'll pay our capital gains that's due, no problem. But you have to know that that's what we want to do, that, and we need to have that money set aside. Sometimes you ever notice, sometimes you have a doctor and you have to say to the doctor, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So now what's the next step? And that's kind of what you have to say. This is your money. You have every right to say that. And he'll say, well, you're crazy. You're going to be sapping your liquidity. And you'll say, you know what? We're not going to, because what we decided to do is those illiquid variable annuities, we're rolling them into our retirement plans at Alice's work and my Roth brokerage account. So just be we're going to have liquidity. It comes in the form of these annuities, and we're getting the hell out. And we never want to hear the word annuity again. And we never want to own these things, and we're getting out now. Boom, done. I think what's becoming clear is that one of the reasons that I love to have people come on the program is that it helps you identify to yourselves what your priorities are. The priority is clearly Ralph is not going back to work. Alice continues to work. We want to give each of the kids $100,000, and we are hoping to buy an RV in a few years. That's it. And let's clean up these annuities, get the heck out of Dodge, and do not look back and don't say why did I do what I did? Who cares? You did what you did. Someone sold you a contract or two or whatever. And thank God it's not impacting your financial life to the extent that nothing bad is going to happen to you. Okay? Thank goodness. So you're good. You're good. And do you guys have your estate documents done?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions from you guys that we can help you with?
Going back to those annuities, the reason that it's hard to let them go is that the numbers I gave you was the market value, but they have this income value that had been going up and up and up. And that's where I guess... Get
out. There is a fee every year. Unless this guy can show me that we should be annuitizing these contracts and it actually makes a lot more sense and he'd better prove it to you, I'm out of this thing.
Okay. Yeah, the hook is in 2030, it will double in value.
theoretically. That's not a guarantee.
I think that's in the contract. That was the hook.
Well, if you know what? So I would actually pay somebody to look at these contracts and make that determination. I would pay someone on the side and say, I want to pay you by the hour for an analysis of these contracts. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. Like, I've been wrong before, but I really don't think, I don't feel like we have a good sense that these contracts are worth keeping for the money. That's where I am. And maybe I'm wrong, but I want a third party to determine that, not the guy who's getting the trail on it.
That's excellent suggestion. Any advice as to where we would find an annuity person that understands this fine print?
When we get off the air, Mark is going to send you the contact information for a fee-only financial planner that we know in New Jersey who will be able to help you out with that.
Fantastic.
If you have a financial question, if you would like to join us, all you need to do is go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. That is the key. It will get you to us. And if you want to join us on the air live, you can just check that little box and Mark does everything else. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we'll be right back. You're back. It's Jill on Money. And before we conclude the program, I want to do another email. I know that you guys are so patient when you send us those emails. We do have an inbox that is pretty built up, but we're there for you. And if it's urgent, just resend it. You can get Mark's attention again. He really does respond to that. This last question is from Vicky, who wants to know the best way to will a property to her son. Now, gang, I know that you have the best intentions, but let's remind you of a couple of things when you're thinking about property and gifting or leaving that property to your heirs. Number one, when you gift a property during your lifetime or just add someone's name to the deed, what they are actually getting is not just that asset eventually, but also your cost basis in that asset. And that could be pretty sizable if you've owned the home for a long time. Alternatively, if someone inherits a property, they get what is called a step up in cost basis, meaning the cost basis of the home is essentially what the value of the home is on the date of death. So that is why it's usually preferable to leave the property to an heir through a will. There are some people who like to use a trust. They think perhaps that putting the house in a trust might help them if they were to need long-term care, but that's not always the case. So you have to be very careful. If you are going to leave property to someone who's not your spouse, don't forget, if they're going to try to sell that property, you may want to leave them an extra bunch of cash so they can pay things like homeowners insurance and taxes or the maintenance necessary to get the house in shape to sell. All of those things can come into play. But overall, this really does need the assistance of an estate planning attorney, one who's qualified, and not just somebody who did your house closing. Okay, that's it. That's the program. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is the executive producer and the king of all things web. We like to remind you to do something nice for someone else today. It's going to make that person feel good, and it is going to make you feel good. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next week.